About this video for a while, and I've kind of touched on it a little bit about my reasoning in other videos, and I thought I actually had recorded basically this video before, but it's not uploaded and I can't find it. So maybe I did and I deleted it, or maybe I was just thinking about doing it, because I totally work through videos in my head sometimes, just like what I'm gonna talk about, especially if it's like a long video. If it's like a little update, I just go in and hope for the best. And as the title says, this is why I chose going INDY over an agency this time for surrogacy. And it's a really, really big decision for a surrogate to do either one. It takes a lot of thought with what you're going to do. So I want to say what I want to do. I want to tell you why I'm doing it INDY this time, but I also want to kind of give you my thoughts on agencies, really, the good, the bad, all that. And you know, if you're out there looking, if you're trying to decide what you want to do, if you're an IM, IF, if you know, maybe you'll get some knowledge out of this. So anyways, here goes. Okay, so I need to kind of start by giving you a little bit of backstory about how I came from, or how I chose originally to do an agency, and then why I'm not any longer. So back when I first decided to be a surrogate, my son was only 2 months old, and I just kind of looked around and I saw there were some agencies, and I kind of like, I don't want to say I wasn't serious, but I kind of half-ass applied at them because it was still such a giant thing that was happening in my life. Like, my husband was on board, and that was pretty much all that we had told. We hadn't told anybody else yet. So I kind of applied at them. I didn't hear immediately back from any of them, and through the days and weeks that followed, I started finding more and more resources. So some of the places you can go online, I'm just going to name a couple. There's like allthingssurrogacy.com, Surromoms Online, and then there's surrogatemothers.com. And they're all basically places that you can go, and some of them serve for more than this purpose, but you can go to find a match, whether you're looking for parents or you're looking for a surrogate. And so and two of those sites have basically like a classified section, and so you can put up an ad and say, hey, I'm a person looking to be a surrogate, hit me up. Or you can read, you know, an ad from a couple saying, hey, this is our story, we really want to find a surrogate, these are our requirements, and you can email them back and be like, oh, that's me, you know. So anyways, so I get on there, everything was really new, I didn't really know what to look for, but I was just going on my gut, and I decided that the idea of an independent match was more appealing to me, because I felt like going through an agency would make it more business, and I was very much about the reasoning behind surrogacy, which is to give a family that can't have a child. And I was just really, I didn't want it to be like cold and cool, you know, and I thought that's what an agency would do. So after emailing a couple people, I got in contact with a couple, and they were in the US, and I liked them. I never talked to the mom, I always talked to the dad, and we emailed several times. He told me they actually had children by another surrogate, but the surrogate was, I don't remember if she was retired or if she was having her own or whatever, but so they were looking for another surrogate, and they had frozen embryos, and so I matched with them. They had me call their clinic, and I did all this legwork, and I sent them all my stuff, and then I just didn't hear anything, and I would email, and I would just get really short responses back, like, oh yeah, everything's still going good, but like nothing real. I don't know, just weird. And then, long story short, I found out that they had like 5 or 6 surros that, I'm going to use the term, they were leading on, and basically what they wanted to do is kind of get the surros up to the med start point So go through all the process and everything and then be like, we pick you, or we pick you, or yeah. And I just thought that was kind of ridiculous, and I wasn't in it to compete. Like, it's not a I'm better than that one, my uterus is better. Of course my uterus is better, but you know. Anyways, so I just wrote them a letter and I was like, I'm sorry, this is gonna work for me. Right around the same time, I heard back from the agency I ended up working with, and we started getting all that going. And after that experience with the independent couple, it was so nice, so nice to have the agency just take care of everything. Like, I knew that they were on board. I knew that they were only talking to one surrogate. I knew that they were committed to it. They weren't like, you know, if we have another kid, then we do, and if we don't, then we don't, you know. And so it was just so nice as a first-time surro to have that, because they took care of everything. Like, I just had to show up where they told me. You know, like, okay, it's time to meet the parents. Go to the airport. Bam. And then, you know, they arrange the flight and everything. And, oh, it's time for this. Sign this paper. Okay, I got it, you know. I didn't have to find my own lawyer. I didn't have to do anything. They were just like, here you go. Here's a lawyer for you. And it was just so easy. I never, prior to being pregnant, I never looked at what the parents were paying. So I've never been secretive about the fact that I got paid for my first surrogacy. I never looked at how much they paid. I knew they had to pay the agency at least what I was making, and then I assumed they paid like a small fee to the agency for matching us or whatever. And then I obviously, like, when I flew to go get the embryos transferred, that wasn't my money, like, so I assumed that was their money as well, and I didn't really look into it. I was probably, I want to say it was after the first transfer for sure. It may have even been after when we transferred the twins. I can't even say, but I remember going on the website and clicking, and I'll admit it was just out of curiosity. I was like, oh, I wonder how much they have to pay. And I was shocked, like, oh my heck, shocked. So if you're curious, really, I mean, Google surrogacy agencies, and there's like 3 of the main ones that pop up on Google, and you can look at them and see like what the fees for the surrogate are and what the fees for the intended parents are. And so anyways, I looked and I found out what they paid, and it was just ridiculous, like astronomically ridiculous. The money that I made, and like I said, I don't think I'm even allowed to say what I made for sure, but again, if you want it, you can go and Google it and it'll give you a ballpark. Anyways, I didn't even make a quarter of what the agency got. I probably made a little more than an eighth, I guess. Like, it's ridiculous. And so that was my first thing when I was kind of like, holy crap, like, the whole reason I got into surrogacy was because I felt so horrible for these people that were having trouble, that couldn't have children, you know, like Glenn and I were just like, hey, let's have a baby, and we did. And so I felt so horrible for them. And that's the whole reason I started. And to see, like, they made it very clear that an agency going that route is definitely not for everybody, just financial wise. If God forbid something were to happen and I could never have children and I wanted to have biological children, we couldn't do a surrogate. Like, no way in heck. We would have to save for years just to pay her, but let alone the agency. Seriously, like, we would have to work full-time for 5 years and never pay any bills or eat. Like, seriously, it's ridiculous. With my intended parents, I think financially they were set up for it, and it wasn't, I'm not going to say it wasn't a strain, because I can't imagine that amount of money not being a strain for anybody, but it wasn't like a super hardship for them. They didn't have to go to a smaller house or, you know, skimp on food or anything. But there are so many parents that cannot afford that. Now, my agency was one of the higher ones. I will totally give you that. There are agencies that charge less, but honestly not that much less, and not enough to make it be like, oh, it's affordable now. When I was pregnant with the twins, I made the decision that, one, if that couple ever wanted me to carry again, I would carry for them. I loved them. They were like just amazing people. And if they wanted a sibling, no problem. Like, they would just have to ask and I'd be right on board. I made the decision that I would carry for them, and then I also made the decision that once I had the twins, I would tell them that I would also do it independently and without the agency, because that was just ridiculous to me. I mean, I know I keep saying that, but seriously, the amount of money, I can't get over it. It's like more than a house. I could have like a really, really nice house for that much money, okay? My agency, or not anymore I guess, but the agency I was with, they decided to no longer work with surrogates in the state I'm in. And I was kind of bummed out, but I kind of saw it coming, and I was like, okay, you know, whatever. And at the time, we were kind of thinking about having a second baby of our own, so we were just like, whatever, I'll find another agency. Or, you know, or I'll go INDY or whatever, you know. So, anyways, I've kind of told you guys this part before, so I'll just kind of run through it. The agency called me up like 2 months after I had the twins and was like, hey, I have these friends of the IPs you just carried for. Would you carry for them? And I was like, heck yes. So I talked to their clinic, and their clinic decided not to work with me because I'd had high blood pressure with the twins. So the agency was like, oh, well, we'd have to find you another clinic, and you living in Utah, we think we'll just not use you anymore. Hi, buddy. Your pants are falling? So they decided like they weren't going to use me. So, hi, buddy. You want
a book.
Okay.
Again.
You can read. He's going to get a book to read. So I decided to go ahead and do a surrogacy again, even though, you know, and that was when I had to make the choice, like, am I going to go try for another agency, or am I going to go INDY? And I'll be honest, part of me kind of wanted to go with an agency again, just because it was so easy. Like, and I'd seen so many people, because I talked to a ton of surrogates online. I saw so many surrogates going INDY, and it's like, oh, I'm having this problem, oh, I'm having this problem, and I didn't want those problems. So, but long story short, I decided to go INDY, and it's for a lot of reasons. The cost is ridiculous for parents, and I want surrogacy to be something that is available for the common person. You know, like, there's altruistic surrogates. There are countries where you have to be an altruistic surrogate, and I'm totally for that. I think it's amazing. But the ratio of surrogates that will do it altruistically and them quite high amounts of money, it's just not, you know, like, it would take me years and years, I'm sure, to find someone that had insurance, lived in the country, that was legal to be my surrogate and would do it free. Like, it's just not possible, really. So that's kind of, I don't know, I just think it's insane that agencies pay that much, you know, or that agencies cost that much. And I know they have employees that they have to pay, and I even respect that they want a fee for it, for the matching process. And I don't know all the fees by hand. I don't know exactly how much that they're having to pay for the lawyers and the, you know, that sort of thing, but it's just something that I chose to do. So that said, it has been harder to do INDY because I do have to, like, do a little bit more of the footwork. You know, like, I had to find my lawyer. I had to talk to my, you know, find if he'd represent me. I had to do that kind of thing. We're not completely independent.
I don't know mine.
We did meet through someone, not an agency. I think we did meet via someone that does kind of match people, but it's nothing like that. And then they kind of leave it up to you as far as everything else. I just think it's so important. I have so many surrogates that ask, how do you choose? What should I do? Should I go here? Should I go here? And it's such a hard thing to say. So at this point in my journey, I definitely am more pro INDY than I am agency. That said, coming from a surrogate point of a first-time surrogate, and you're trying to learn all the books, everything is a pain in the butt sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie. An agency is kind of nice because there is somebody there who's like, oh, okay, that's normal. This happened with IPs a lot, But the things I was worried about most, it feeling businessy and all that, it doesn't. Or if I can deal with that and save the parents a ton of money, then I'm down for that. So that's just kind of my thought process, where I went, why I am, doing it INDY. I am going to be pseudo-retired from surrogacy after this. I am going to carry for a friend in a couple of years, and I think that's going to be it for me. I don't want to have like 12 surrogate children. It's just not something that I've thought, but I think this will be kind of nice way to end it, and I'm really glad that I'm doing INDY this time, and I might completely change my mind halfway through the process, but I don't think so. The IPs I chose are just so nice and sweet, and I can't imagine us having problems. So I have another video I'm going to do, but probably not tonight, so I'll let you guys go. Bye!